This is it right here. This is what Joe Smith was saying that broke the camel's back, if you will. We talked about the mismanagement fees, and of course, you got to pay Uncle Sam his tax dollars. Now, aside from all that, there was still some money to go around had it been managed properly. Had he did a little less spending on luxurious items and things of that nature. But this right here is what he said was robbed him, or excuse me, not robbed him, but took the majority of his retirement money. Okay? It was a divorce. And they're going to say to me, well, Bart, some of that's his fault. He tried to turn what into a housewife. I get that. I understand that. Yet there have been many men destroyed out here, many women harmed out here through the divorce proceedings and courtrooms. These are just facts. And by the time you get done, you are economically and mentally, emotionally drained. Because now the state is now entering into a relationship which was vowed before the one living God. Now let me say this, I am in favor of marriage 100%. I am for the sanctity of marriage. I am for the institution of the family. It is the oldest institution on planet Earth. From the institution of the family provides all other resources which the earth needs in the human being resource sense. Without families, we don't have people. We need the masculine and feminine principle procreating. No doubt about that. This is what keeps the world going and flowing. So I'm for the institution of marriage, of the family. It's the oldest institution on the planet Earth. Now, the institution of marriage is a stronghold to the institution of the family. It is a component of the institution of the family. That's why I am for long-term committed relationships and marriage. I'm 100% for it. I encourage it. If one is seeking to get married, please go get married. If you're thinking about getting divorced, no, stay married. Try to work it out. Try to work it out for the betterment of the family, truly. I have some friends who are in their 50s, some in their 60s, seeking marriage. Kudos, bravo, go get it, go get it. I have some guys in their 40s and their 30s. They're trying to maintain their marriage or they're seeking marriage. Go do that. Beautiful. No problem there at all. 100% encourage that. Yes, indeedy. I'm somewhat conservative on that. I really am. I truly believe in the value and the sanctity and the institution of the family and of marriage. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. That's not my problem, though, family. That's not my issue. I'm going to share with you my issue. And I'm looking at it through Joe Smith's eyes. I'm looking at it through Joe Smith's perspective. And I'm looking at it through other men's perspective and women's perspective who had to endure what is called a divorce. This is the problem here in America. I don't have a problem with marriage. I don't have a problem with the feminine principle, the woman, not at all. I have a problem with American marriage laws. Not marriage, American marriage laws are the problem, or is the problem. And it's staring us right there in the face. What is no-fault divorce? And it says right there, no-fault divorce as it sounds. A divorce that can be obtained without anyone having to allege or prove that one party behavior is to blame. Wow. Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute. Hold on. Now, we took a vow before man and God, and we can split up just like that, like we were girlfriends and boyfriends. Nope, not that easy. Wish it was. See, that's the problem. See, that's the problem right there. See, if you're dating someone and you split up with them, then it's fine. And I know that they're trying to even change that law to some degree as well. But it's not, there's a whole much weight nor water. But when you allow the state and the court to now enter in because you have a covenant before God, man, and a signed contract through this marriage, now they can come in to intervene. And this is the problem. So let me give you a hypothetical situation. Because Joe Smith suffered a nightmare. As he said, he was there. He said, I was there. I get it, Joe. I hear you, my brother. And I hope that you're not there anymore. I truly do. I truly do. And if any man is listening, I'm with you as well. If any woman is listening, I'm with you as well on this. I truly am, because I know how devastating this can be. And I know if I found myself out here in economic harm, it very well could have been through a divorce or something along these lines. No doubt about that. No doubt about that at all. And so let me share with you a situation that would take me there. Let me share with you, because Joe said he was there. Let me share with you a situation that would take me there. Okay, and it actually is a pretty common situation in America. And before I even go there, let me just read this part right down here as to where the no-fault divorce came into play. No-fault divorce were first legalized in California in 1969 by the governor Ronald Wilson Reagan, who would eventually become the first president. We know that by 2020, every state had legalized. By 2010, every state had legalized a no-fault divorce option. Before this option, an at-fault divorce was the only resources for a broken union. This led to complications for couples whose situations, for one reason or another, didn't fit the required legal procedures. Couples who were in divorce were all but forced by the law to recreate some sort of fault-based scenario. Okay. So let's go back to Joe Smith and let's take a look at a nightmare situation, even for the juice bar. Okay, here we go. I worked the majority of my life to make myself valuable in this society, to make myself worthy in this society, to make a come up in this society. And because it takes time to accomplish that, money and the accumulation of money they become products of not just energy and work, but they are also products of time and also products of my life. Not my life, but products of it. And in this diligent work, you're putting in, you think to yourself, okay, now let me settle down and, live a better life, a married life, one under the covenant of God, and allow me to, get married. And so your intentions are fairly decent. They are good. So you seek out a mate, woman, and you go get yourself married. However, one day, due to the course, like I said, I'm not even blaming the woman, the feminine principle on this family. I truly am not, because I believe that if these laws were in other countries, you would still have the high disproportionate divorce rates, because these laws incentivize divorce. They make it profitable for someone to seek after a divorce. The laws are not incentivizing nor encouraging the sanctity of marriage. They're encouraging divorce. So after I worked the majority of my life trying to make myself valuable within this society, now I decided to try to be a good guy and marry a good girl, a good woman. However, one day, mainly she, because 70% of the time it is the woman filing for divorce. She wakes up one day, and if I get married, it's going to be to a woman, of course. So one day I wake up, she says to me, Bar, I want to get divorced. All right. For what reason? I just want to get divorced. I'm no longer comfortable in this relationship. I don't have to prove anything to the courts. All I gotta do is just say it's done. So now she is in a position to take about 50 to 65% of everything that I've worked for. I can live with that. That's not my nightmare. I can live with that. No problem. I'm just being real. I can live with that. And you want to take the house. All right, take the house. I get the money back. I can live with that. I'm not happy, but I can live with that. Well, Bart, you can always get a prenuptial agreement, true. And although they are disputed a lot in court, they are usually often upheld in court. So prenups definitely work. But here's the other situation. If children come into play, like Joe Smith had 4 children, if children now come into play, they may not get you with the alimony, but they can get you with the child support, which will now supplement the alimony. So now we have children. She wakes up and say, "Oh yeah, I want to get divorced now. I'm not comfortable in this relationship. I want the house. I want the kids. You're going to get out and you're going to pay for all this." And guess what? The courts will now oblige her in doing this. They will openly assist her in doing this. And I'm not making this up. This is one of the principles and tenets of a no-fault divorce. And see, where a prenup can protect you against certain things, it cannot protect you against you having children. And that's where the game comes into play. So now she says, "I want this divorce, and I'm going to take custody of the children, control of the house, and you are going to afford this through the sweat of your brow." You know what I say? I say, you know what? I will weigh it. I could weigh this. I had love for you. You were my wife. I got kids by you. You're going to take care of them in this house. I don't like this. Is a disgusting situation, no doubt about it, but okay, it's doable. But here's the problem. She can now move another man into this house. And this man now has access to my children. And this man now has access to my so-called wife. And he is sexing my wife, making sex noises and making my wife have sex noises in front of my children. And that's something I would not be able to live with. That's something that would probably utterly harm me psychologically. And that is why that could never be. I'm being 100% real with you. That's why that could never be. Because that would turn me into another human being. Do you understand? You taking 65% of my money, my house, the custody of my children, control of them, and then you're allowing another man to come into the house which I'm paying for the sweat of my brow, who does not barely work or does not work, but all he does is lay the pole, the pipe. Man, listen. I can't even begin to express to you the level of, oh man. Understand? Do you understand that type of nightmare? And this is the reality. See, this is the problem here, family. This nightmare which I just painted, which I don't think I could live with, this is the reality of many men and some women in America through laws like this, the no-fault divorce. I'm thankful for states like the state of Texas who are currently combating this law. But when it came into play in 1969, it should have been struck down. Times have changed. Times have greatly changed, and these laws should no longer stand. It makes it too easy. So in an emotional state, I'll quickly sign the papers. The lawyer's convincing me that I should not even have a conversation with with my partner. Shouldn't even have a conversation with my husband or my wife. Shouldn't even be doing it. Only talk to me as the lawyer fees are increasing. You see this? Do you see this racket they're playing on the American people? So I look at this through Joe Smith's eyes. I simply say this is a nightmare, no doubt about that. No doubt about that. And to find yourself having made all of that money to only find yourself with those limited resources which you now currently have, I feel for the brother, but I'm thankful he didn't try to do himself in. You see, I'm just being real with you, family. Just being real with you. He didn't turn violent. He didn't try to do himself in. He's living his life. Leave him be. God bless you, Joe Smith.